Hi guys, what day is it today? Wednesday. Attorney Brooke Goff. Sorry that I haven't been on in a couple weeks. It's been kind of crazy. I was back from the crypt last week, 2 weeks ago. I had the flu, great, and I was stuck in California with it, and it was terrible. So I'm back, and I wanted to shoot a video. I'm actually, today's the day, because I was at Channel 8 all morning shooting videos, shooting some tip videos, shooting some styles with Teresa. It was a lot of fun. So couple things. I always like to do a comp video around this time of year because it's kind of a crazy time of year for everybody. Holidays are over, and now you're sitting here thinking, do I do something? Do I not do something? I was injured. What do I do? So I just want to use this time, maybe 15 minutes or so. So when I say 15 minutes, it's probably going to be 20, 30. But I want to use this time to talk to you guys about how to set up a comp case, some pitfalls to look out for, benefits you need to know. I do these videos not because I want to force you to hire an attorney, right? I want that to be your idea. I want my clients to want to hire me, not need to hire me. And the point of these videos is that I educate you so you yourself can make an educated decision. Yes, I want a lawyer. No, I don't. But at least you know what you're facing, right? Firstly, you're hurt at work. What do? Well, first, if you need medical attention, get the medical attention, okay? If you don't need the medical attention right away, tell your employer, let him know or her know I was injured at work. Give them kind of the gist of what happened, and do an incident report if your job offers that. Next step is, obviously, if you're still in pain that day, I always tell anybody, if you get an injury at work, just get checked out. What's the worst that can happen? They tell you you're okay, then you're okay. Understand that you're likely going to be referred from the employer to a Concentra or Optimus Health, something like this, a company that basically, it's a doctor's office that sees lots and lots of comp clients, right? You have the right, though, to see your own doctor, guys. So you can choose, no, I want to go to see my PCP, or I want to go see my ortho, or I want to go to see my pain management doctor. Just because your employer tries to tell you you have to go to their doctor is not true. Don't be non-compliant and not go to see somebody for 3 weeks, then all of a sudden see somebody, but be smart, okay? And if you have an injury, back, neck, whatever, be honest is key. Report it to the employer, and obviously, like I said, do an incident report and then get medical treatment. So let's say you got your medical treatment. Let's just say you have a back or a neck sprain, or maybe you broke a bone. We don't know, right? And you've gotten some treatment. You're going to want to file, and I'm looking down, by the way, guys, because I write when I talk. It helps make sure I cover everything. Some people have tried to bully me, right? Because I look down a lot when I do these. I look down a lot because literally I write as I go. And like I said, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And people don't like my hair. They bully that too, but that's fine. So 30C is what you want to file. You get a year to file it, but why are you going to wait a year to file it? Any of you that are parents, our kids, right? I have a 7-year-old son. Our kids wait till the last minute to do everything. Do not be one of those people, and practice what you preach, right? That's what my son would probably say to me in 10 years. But the 30C is a form. It's available on the workers' comp website. That is your notice of claim. I don't care if you've done an incident report. I don't care if you have a claim number with their insurance. This is not the same thing. This opens the case with workers' compensation so that if something goes wrong, they don't pay you, whatever, you can get a hearing, okay? This is called the 30C. Fill it out, name, date of birth, phone number, address, that kind of thing. They ask about your employer information, who's your employer, where it happened, if you, the day it happened, what body parts you injured, then you sign it and you execute it. On the form, it says you can hand deliver it. I never recommend that you hand deliver it. Why? Because, guys, it's weird in the moment to ask for a receipt, right, to your employer. And if they really honestly may forget, and they might be like, hey, she never gave me anything a year ago. Certified mail, post office doesn't lie, okay? So it's easy, and then it takes you out of the equation. You don't have that weird moment. So certified mail to your employer and to workers' comp. You get a year to do it, all right? If you do not do this, all right, then you can jeopardize really your whole case. I have a 30C here. I'm not going to hold it up. But I'm going to read from it because the 30, see, everything's backwards, right? By the way, this is a legal document, so I always encourage you have your free consultation with a workers' comp attorney. I'd be happy to meet with you. There's a bunch. Just make sure you get an attorney that does workers' comp and doesn't just do it on the weekends, okay? And good comp attorneys are hard to find, so make sure you talk to them. Make sure that they give you test them based on the information I'm giving you now. Or you can just call me. It's your choice. At the bottom of the 30C, it says, if an employer does not file a notice contesting liability, this is called a Form 43, guys. You'll get one of these certified by mail if you represent yourself, or for this claim, or begin making workers' compensation benefits payments without prejudice within 28 calendar days from the date when this claim is received by personal delivery or by registered or certified mail, compensability shall be presumed and therefore cannot be contested. Let's say you have a fall and you claim everything hurts, back, neck, legs, blah, 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 blah. And the employer doesn't contest this with a form called a 43, which will arrive certified, guys. If you have a lawyer, your lawyer will get it. Guess what? They can't contest it. That's the worst thing that can ever happen to an insurance company, but it does happen. This 30C is important. You need to file it. You should file it in the first 3 weeks of your case. Again, if you get a lawyer, your lawyer's going to file this for you, okay? So remember that. Your lawyer will file it for you if you have a lawyer. If you don't, file it yourself. It can be amended. So if something happens, sometimes we find out that somebody thinks it's their foot's hurting them. Really, let's say it's coming from their back or something. This can be amended to add additional body parts. That's a 30C. Then you get a form. It's called, and again, I'm looking down, I'm referencing documents, a 1A form. So this is the most important form, in my opinion, other than a 30C and a 36. The 1A form is your filing status exemption. It's how we calculate, okay, your comp rate. So as most of you must probably know, you do not get your full paycheck in comp unless you hold a certain type of position. Some police departments, they get their full rate. Some firefighters get their full rate. Most of the time you do not. You get a percentage of it. How do we calculate it? We use this form, and this is the 1A, and then we use a program. That program is called Comp Tools. We used to have to do it by hand. It was like 3 pages long. It was like a really bad math problem, okay? And at the end of the day, again, the 1A form tells us a lot. It tells us what your comp rate is so that we're not chasing people for money that you're owed a year later, or we're not worried about an overpayment a year later. And let me tell you, when you're only getting a percentage of your paycheck, even if you're being underpaid by $20, guess what? That's $80 a month. $20 is $20. I don't know. Many people don't know this, so I'm going to go through this with you. A 1A form also has a back to it. Well, not really a back to it, but I always attach one of these. This is actually part of a VA, so you don't want to mix these two up. But I always, with my 1As, have this filled out for my records. This is, I'm not even going to show it to you. I don't want to confuse you. But basically what this is it's a worksheet. If you are injured and you have more than one job, you get the comp rate based on both jobs. That's how we calculate your comp rate. Then a second injury fund, which is the state of Connecticut, comes in and does contributions. Don't worry about that. So, for instance, let's say you drive an ambulance, all right? And you make $50,000 a year, okay? And let's say you work for another ambulance company part-time and you make $25K a year. Your comp rate is based on $75,000, guys, not on $50 because that's where you got injured. Don't make that mistake, and most people don't even disclose it. You lose tens of thousands of dollars in a comp claim. And then it's harder, the longer this goes on, the harder it is for us to get the second injury fund in and to fix it all. So you get paid, your comp rate's calculated from all jobs you were currently working at the time of this. I don't care if you were a waitress making $100 a week. Guess what? That makes a huge difference sometimes, okay? So this is a very important form. There is a section here for concurrent employment right at the bottom. That's the worksheet I was going to show you, okay? So guys, you have to make sure this form is correct, most important form. Again, if you have a lawyer, your lawyer will do this, all right? So now you've done your 1A. Now you're going to the doctor. You've chosen your physician, so I'm happy to hear that. You're not going with their physician, which I'm not saying they're all bad, but guys, I mean, these physicians, they're sending you there for a reason, right? So go with, maybe the physician they want to send you to is an old physician of yours. That's fine, but understand you have your choice. And if you don't take up the opportunity to choose your physician, and let's just say you treat for 4 months with theirs and you're like, I hate this person, I want out. it's going to be hard for me to dig you out of that, because now it's assumed that you've chosen them, even though they set you up with them. Choose your own doctor. 4 words. Choose your own doctor. And guys, so now let's say you're going to your doctor's appointments. Everything's good. You're getting paid. You filed your forms. You, by this point, probably have hired me at this point. Everybody's happy, right? So the Form 43 was received that I talked to you about before. You don't have to worry about that. The next step is that what you're going to do is, obviously, we want to make sure that your comp rate's correct. So you're going to continue getting checks and everybody's happy. You're getting your checks and they're the right amount. You also get mileage, all right? So to and from doctor's appointments, it's round trip. This year, I think it's 58 cents. Now it went down by 0.5. But by 0.5, I mean it was 58.5. Now it's 58. But regardless, that's great. Do them monthly, because the more you back up the adjuster with those mileage, guess what happens? It takes forever to get paid. When I say forever, I mean forever, like months, all right? And people don't have time. I mean, if you're already getting a percentage of your income, I mean, the extra $100 or $75 a month comes in handy, especially if you have kids and mortgage bills, whatever. If your checks don't start, there's a problem. All right. And again, you have to understand that insurance adjusters and insurance companies, they make money by saving money, right? So they're not going to tell you these things that I'm telling you because it's against their best interest. So share the video and let everybody, listen to what I have to say, because this is workers' comp and it doesn't get any easier. And you either hire me in the beginning or you hire me after you're frustrated. I don't know, maybe 6 months, 12 months down the line, but you've already done all the grunt work, and we still get, at the end of the case, we still get 20%, right? So make me earn my 20%, okay? We work on a contingency basis. What does that mean? We get 20% of PPD, which is your rating, which is part of settlement. So it's actually 20% of settlement, but PPD is part of settlement, and sometimes PPD comes first. So sometimes the fee comes in 2 pieces. It's still the same. If the settlement was 100, your PPD was 20, my fee would be, right? So total 100, my fee would be 20 grand, right? But guess what? I'm only getting 4 from the first 20, and then I'm getting the other 16 from the other 80, right? So that's how it works, guys, okay? Understand that an attorney in a comp case is going to, a good attorney in a comp case is going to get you more money than you would ever get yourself. And my fee becomes irrelevant when you start looking at, let's just say you could get $10,000 on your own. I had a gentleman come in, and he had an offer of $35,000. Not terrible, but I just settled it for $75,000. So, and I settled it in like 90 days. So guess what? The point is this. So take into account my 20%. This man still did $17,000 better than he could have done on his own. And that's a lot of money. All right. So keep that in mind. So let's say you're treating with the doctor, and then your doctor says that you can go back light duty. You're likely, if the insurance company is doing their job, you're going to get a Form 36. I call this a fire form. This is how an insurance company tries to stop or discontinue your benefits. It's certified. Do not be like some clients that come in here and I say you didn't get the 36. Well, something came certified, but I threw it out. I didn't want to read it. Guys, this isn't like avoiding going to the doctor, okay? This is like serious. This is your checks. And this form is administratively approved after 15 days. If you don't object, if you're representing yourself because you're stubborn and you don't want legal counsel, you don't trust lawyers, whatever the case might be, then take this form, if you get this certified 36, to workers' comp and tell them you need to object, and they'll walk you through it, okay? Again, I don't recommend it, that you do it on your own, but that's your business. This is a Form 36. If you sit on this and don't do anything, or if you're a day late or 2 days late, it's administratively approved, guys, automatically approved. I'll read it to you. If you object to the reduction or discontinuation of benefits as stated, you must request a hearing within 15 days after your receipt of this notice, or this notice will be automatically approved. Your checks stop. Bam. And guess what? It takes weeks. I will not disclose any of my clients' identities, but you could ask one of my clients. It took 5 weeks because he came into me after this was filed, and he hired me. It took me 5 weeks, which is actually pretty quick. And guess what? His comp rate when he's out of work is $1,200. $1,200 times 5, that's $6,000 he lost. He has a mortgage and kids. He sat on it. He's like, I put it in the garbage because I didn't want to deal with it. Well, that was stupid. Do not do that, guys. This is serious stuff. And it's not as easy as, oh, Commissioner, I'm so sorry. Commissioners, they feel bad, but they respect you as clients, and they understand that you don't have the knowledge that attorneys have, but you need to protect yourself, okay? Open the damn mail. Read what it says and go from there. Okay, so let's say, and they also file these forms though when you go light duty. So if you are released light duty from your doctor, meaning you can do light duty work, and your employer doesn't have light duty available, you have to do light duty work searches. 5 a week. If you do them online, you have to save your confirmations. Those need to be submitted weekly. If you don't submit them, you're not going to get paid, okay? Nobody's going to tell you this, guys. I'm telling you. Nobody's going to tell you this. You're just going to be sitting there and be like, why aren't my checks coming? Why aren't my checks coming? If you have significant restrictions, or if you do not speak English, something along these lines, then you may be able to do less than 5 if you have a specific hearing for that. But just FYI, 5 a week, if you don't do them, you're not getting paid. And guess what? Doesn't mean you can do 10 the next week and get paid. You're likely not going to be paid for that week. Do not come to me when the damage is done, please. Come to me so I can make sure and navigate. I tell my clients, I say, look, I understand you've been doing this for yourself, or maybe it's new, but we have to have an understanding. We're driving a ship and I'm the captain, okay? You can be my co-pilot. And together, we're gonna navigate this thing to the finish line. But you need to let me be the captain. And you need to let me handle this. And the reason why most of my clients don't even know what some of these things mean, they get notified, but they don't know what they mean, is because we navigate the waters so well. We navigate them so well that my clients never have to deal with these problems. Okay, next. You now have been released. No, the doctor says you're light duty forever. Like you don't lift the restriction. Happens to a lot of people. And the doctor fills out this form. It's called the Form 42. Let's say you had surgery and it's about a year later. You get a rating of a 10% to, let's say, your back. Guess what? Every body part, guys, has a rating. A woman, for her breasts have a rating. Arms have ratings, shoulders have ratings, penis has a rating, a vagina has a rating, a brain has a rating, a foot has a rating, a toe has a rating, a finger has a rating, an ear has a rating, loss of hearing has a rating. I can keep going, guys. A heart has a rating. I can keep going, all right? Everything has a rating. And by rating means weeks. So I'm reaching for a book here, right? This is an older book. This is the newer one here. So in this book, this is the newer one. The blue one. So in this book, it gives us the weeks. So I'll read some off just because you guys are probably interested. We have quite a few people watching right now. We have about 15. So I'm sure you guys are sitting at the edge of your seats wondering what all this means, right? So, okay, let me just pull these up. It's one page and it's always hidden, and I always do this and then I find it. So just give me a minute. And it's like blends in with the rest of the book. It blends in the rest of the book. So, here we go. Got it. See? So this is what I'm talking about. See how it like blends in? So arm, master arm. So let's say right-handed, 208 weeks. Left arm, if you're right-handed, 194 weeks. Master hand, 168 weeks. Other hand, 155 weeks. A leg, 155 weeks. Foot, 125 weeks. Your hearing, both ears are only worth 104 weeks. I never understood that, by the way. One ear is 35 weeks. And I could keep going. A back is 374 weeks. A heart is 520 weeks. A brain is 520 weeks. A liver's 347 weeks. A bladder's 233 weeks. I mean, again, guys, a neck is 117 weeks. I can just keep going. Rib cage, 69 weeks. Bilateral, and that's bilateral. Meaning right or left doesn't make a difference. Mammary glands, 35 weeks. Your nose is 35 weeks. Your jaw is 35 weeks. Coccyx is 35 weeks. That's the actual removal of. And gallbladder is 13 weeks. A tooth is 1 week. Loss of drainage of an eye duct, it happens. I've had those cases, 17 weeks. If corrected by a prosthesis. A pelvis is the percentage of the back. I could keep going. So you're probably like, well, who the hell cares? Let's say you get a 10% rating to the back. That means it's worth 37.4 weeks. You multiply 10% times the number of weeks, then times your comp rate. So if you get a 10% rating of the back, and your comp rate's $1,000, 10% times 374 is 37.4 times 1,000, 37,400. That's what your rating is worth only. That's the rating. That's not settlement, okay? That's just the rating. Then we go into other things for the settlement. The point is, that's what you get. What does that mean? That means if you've been out of work or you've been light duty up to this point, as long as you have a work capacity, the checks are now going to start being on a time clock and they're going to run out. If you get 37.4 weeks in your back, what does that mean, guys? Your checks run out in 37.4 weeks. That's horrifying. Might sound like a lot. It's a little more than half a year. It's horrifying. Okay? Horrifying. So this is the perfect time that you want to try to settle the case. If you can. If you can, great. If you can't, you can't. But that's the point. That's the doctor would be filing this Form 42. Again, perfect time to try to settle it. Now, there's no requirement to settle in workers' comp, guys. None at all. So again, I have to tell you, in my experience, a lot of attorneys or a lot of insurance companies don't even settle with clients unless they have lawyers. If you settle your case, you have to resign at the table of settlement. You can't continue to work there. If they choose to hire you back after the fact, fine, but you have to resign from your current position to settle. There's no requirement, again, to settle. But guess what? Your case stays open forever. And if you leave in 5 years and you want to settle, you call me if I represented you, or if I didn't, you call me and you're like, Brooke, look, I'm going to want to leave the company. Can we settle it? Sure, we'll give it a shot. Case is worth more earlier on, guys, all right, than later on. But I always tell people, do not give up a job for settlement. If you settle your case in the state of Connecticut, they will pay for 2 years of education for you. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. 2 years. You can go to school, as long as it's around your restrictions. You can go to school to be an electrician. You can go to school to be an HVAC tech. You can go to school to be a barber. You can go to school to be a cook, a chef. You can go to school to be a crane operator. You can go to school to be a teacher. I don't care. They will pay for 2 years of education for you. And that's something to understand. So not only will you get a payout at settlement, and again, I'm telling you, and this is not a fact, but I'm telling you my experience, and I have tons of it, if you guys can't tell, these companies don't usually settle cases with pro se parties, meaning people that represent themselves. Usually it's amongst attorneys. Why? I know the benefits you're entitled to, okay? You're not only entitled to your rating, you're entitled to potentially 308A, which is a benefit that you can get, 308AB, which is an increase in your rating over time, future TT, future medical care, if and the list goes on. So these things, how do you know? This book doesn't tell you much of anything, guys, all right? It just, it makes you read it and you're like, okay, well, I guess that's what that means. You will not feel any more educated if you pick up one of these books at comp and read it. You need to practice it. You need to live it like I do and my office does every day. You need to fight. You need to lose some. You need to win some. We win a hell of a lot more than we lose. But you get there by practicing and knowing what you're doing and knowing what you're talking about. It takes a lot. You guys got to understand. I put myself in front of, every video gets 50, 60,000 views. I put myself in front of 50,000 people and I put my money where my mouth is and I educate you guys, which takes a lot for people to do. I don't care. But the point is this, I do it because you guys deserve to know. And like I said, a lot of attorneys complain about it. They're like, oh, well, if you're telling them everything they need to know, they're not going to hire lawyers. Actually, I've had the opposite effect. When you educate people and you tell them what they need to know, they realize that they need a lawyer and they realize and they feel good about their decision and they hire you because they want you, not because you need you. And let me tell you, that in and of itself is value for me and for the client. So I appreciate you all watching. I hope you've learned something from this video. And if you have questions, call me. So listen to us on 104.1 in the morning, Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock with Amy and Holden. Super fun. I love doing that. Catch us on WTNH Channel 8. We've partnered with them, as most of you know. I do tips every week. We do Connecticut styles. If you watch today or you go on their website and see it, I tried on my new glasses. So let me know what you think about that. We do social media videos. We have trivia. I'll be answering the trivia question tomorrow. I like to give people an extra day to do those. And you can call me. I'm very accessible, guys. I'm not just like a face and doing this and then like you have to wonder if I even exist. My clients get to meet with me. I can't even tell you in a lot of ways how, for me, I think when you make a representation to somebody that you're going to represent them, that you need to make yourself available and make sure that you're available. When you just being a talking head doesn't do anything in my profession, and it doesn't get you respect from other lawyers or commissioners or judges. It's actually exercising and practicing what you preach, right? You can call me at 203-399-0000, extension 1 if you have a new case. If you want to just say hi, you can hit extension 2. You can text us. You can text us all hours of the day or night, 203-399-0000. Yes, it's the same number. And you can email me at Brooke, BROOKE, at golflawgroup.net. And for my other clients, I always love when you guys share your experiences. I can't because I'm under confidentiality, clearly, but share your experiences. Good, bad, what have you. I stand behind our representation. You can check us out on Better Business Bureau. We're one of the only law firms, not the only, but one of the only law firms in Connecticut that are accredited, actually, with the Better Business Bureau. It takes a lot to do that. And most of you have probably seen, but I got one of the best awards of my career, Connecticut Magazine's Top 40 Under 40, which was really awesome. It's a totally nomination based, and they look at your community service. They look at what you do, and a lot of doing these videos is what they watched and they looked at, to be honest. And I do it, guys. I get business from it. You're not stupid. Of course I do, but I don't do it for that reason. I do it to educate you guys. And I have a lot of people that rely on these videos to make their decisions in their lives that are going to affect them lifelong. And if I can just give a little bit of my time to make that easier for you or to help you in making these tough decisions in your life, I'm happy to do it. That's why I went to school. I really did go to school to help people. I really didn't go to school to make bajillions of dollars. I do more than run a business here. I'm a really good lawyer. And I enjoy what I do, and I love being able to come into work every day, meet all of you guys, new people. I never know what my day is going to bring, and I'm very lucky for it. And because of all of you, I have been able to do my passion, and I am able to do it well. So again, guys, have a great night. I hope all of you have learned something from this. Share this video on your timeline. Everybody knows somebody that's been hurt at work at one point or another, or knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? Share it on your timeline, because the wow, I didn't know that's that you're saying when watching this, or what, or wow, is that real, or whatever. Imagine what they say, and you might save somebody's life. I probably a year get about 75 to 150 cases in just from people putting it on their timeline, and people are like, I saw you on my friend's, timeline. So share it on Facebook. It'll be up on YouTube. And if you have any questions about what I've said, please ask. Don't assume, guys, in comp. That's the most dangerous thing you can do, and please ask. And those certified letters, open them, pay attention to them, and protect yourself. Okay, thanks, guys. Have a great night. I'm going home, eat dinner, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.